There we are. So, Lisa and I are doing a solo game, and we are recording this for posterity. Posterity. This camera is actually not that important. This is for the sound. So I will move my dice tray a little further away from it. Oh, I do want my character sheet.
I don't know if that's shared.
That's the wrong one. Here we are. Did you want a copy of that?
I do want a copy. That would be helpful in places, I think.
This is exciting. It is a new character for me. Whoop. Oh. Here we are. Exciting times. Oh wow, the fisheye on the edge of this one's real bad.
It is, yeah. Maybe you should move in a bit.
Yeah. And then the final thing, I'll move this up here. So it's closer to both of us, or maybe here. That'll be right next to your thing.
I could put it just in front here.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine somewhere around here. And we'll, yeah. And so there we are. It's time for me to be, what's my background? Wild spacer.
Okay.
I am a wild spacer named Jacques.
All right. We'll see how this goes. Very first solo campaign.
Indeed.
It's going to feel very different to anything I've done before. All right. So let's dive in. So you have found yourself unwillingly stranded in the deep ethereal plane on the Radiant Citadel.
Fuck.
This is a hub of many different cultures, many different races that either live here for good, they've decided to stay, or they've found themselves stranded, much like yourself.
I can relate.
Yep. And are just trying to get back on their feet. So there's a lot, it's a very egalitarian society where you're given the basics of, housing, food and water and healing. And then if you want to move on after you've recovered, then you can, or you can make a life for yourself here. It's an incredibly multicultural place. There's all sorts of different cultures feeding into this gigantic city that's built around a crystal that flashes with different colors. And there are actually scientists who study the colors, wondering what they mean, because sometimes it'll stay one color for a week. Other times it'll flash different colors over a couple of hours. There's also you can see off in the sky into the deep space, a gigantic ethereal maelstrom called the Keening Gloom, that no one knows the purpose of or how it came to be, but it's just there rumbling away in the sky. It's fine, nothing to worry about. But yes, you find yourself in the port. Let me just consult my notes for the name of the port. But this is where typically large trading ships and the jewels will depart. So the jewels are the means of travel between the Radiant Citadel and the founding civilizations, which are the civilizations that contributed to finding the Radiant Citadel after it had been lost for millennia. So they went on this massive journey with this brass dragon, and they found the Radiant Citadel lying dormant in the deep ethereal, and they restarted it. And now they contribute to the running of it. So there are 12 civilizations currently, but there are more that are rumored to be missing or to have been lost over time.
But if it's been rebooted, there was an original civilization or some.
So it was the problem is not a lot is known about the origins of the Radiant Citadel, and scholars are still studying this, but it's believed that there were 24 civilizations that originally created it, although the reason why and even when is very unclear.
I see.
Some scholars believe that it was created for the first world, so like the very, very first realm that ever existed, but that's just a theory.
Again.
So you are at the Passage of Respite, which is your hub of travel between founding civilizations, other realms, other planes of existence, but mostly it's used for trading ships and the jewels. So it's a very busy area, lots of different ships coming and going, and you find yourself walking up to the port, and to your shock and horror, you see your ship, yet to be named, sailing off into space without you on board. And considering you were the first mate, this is a very strange turn of events. That's where you are. What would you like to do in this situation? What would be Jacques' first? Actually, describe Jacques.
Yeah.
Let's place him in this situation.
He is a dark blue tiefling with with two horns sticking out his head and a tricorn hat sitting on top, sort of nestled between those, and the sort of standard pirate garb, so like cloth pants, the belts that go over the sort of, I think it's called a buccaneer's shirt, and then the thick pirate coat over the top, and he's just like scratching the back of his head as he watches his ship sail off into the distance, and he just lets out a quiet fuck. And he looks around and sort of grabs the first person he can find. He's like, what happened with that one?
So you've happened to just grab a passing tradesman.
Yep.
Who was he had a barrel over one shoulder, and he kind of spins around on one heel as you grab him, completely caught by surprise, and he just kind of gives you a bit of a gormless look. And then I'm just, I don't know, and then just hurries off.
Yep. I just start mingling through the crowd and just being like occasionally grabbing a different person, like, that one, what happened with that one?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say this goes on for maybe 10 minutes, not too long, before you grab someone who actually knows something. Well, they seem a bit surprised that you are surprised that it left. So you've caught a human, what are they called, like station masters? Like, he's in charge of the log books, that sort of thing. And he's like, oh, well, and he kind of opens this ledger that he has on him at all times, and he goes, oh, that ship there sailing off in the distance. Let me, that's this name to be confirmed.
The opalescent.
The opalescent, that's right. Yes. Lovely.
It isn't meant to leave for another, well, I thought I had 2 or 3 days.
I'm not sure about that, sir. It says right here it was scheduled to leave half an hour ago, right on schedule.
Was that the original schedule, or?
Seems to be, yeah. I mean, I've signed off on it and everything.
Is there anything fast I can catch up to it with?
Pages through the book, has a bit of a glance around. Nothing at the moment, sir. No, we don't tend to have smaller ships here. It's all just larger trading vessels, as you can see, all the jewels, but they have a set arrival and departure point. So unfortunately, you might just be stuck here for the moment. Do you have any means of contacting your crew?
I go looking through my bag to see if I had a sending stone for anybody, and I'm assuming I will not.
I doubt it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you want me to roll for it, or?
I doubt you'd just have a sending stone on you unless you had a very good reason to have a sending stone.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's something that
No, that's fine.
would come up.
It's a magical item. You don't just
you don't just have
retroactively have one through roll if the DM says no to it. Yeah, cool. I whistle to call Shadow over to me, who is a fiend beagle.
A fiend beagle, yeah. Does it have glowing red eyes?
Sure, let's say that.
It's really going for the fiend look.
So it's the fiend creature type, but it's mostly just a regular beagle, but it does have a fiendish spirit.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is taking the form of a beagle.
Very neat.
Yeah.
As you turn away, kind of discouraged, the station master, he kind of calls out and says, "Oh, well, actually, sir, if you wanted to just, maybe if you stay overnight, I could put in some inquiries and perhaps we could follow up on what's going on here if they've left you behind."
That seems like useful information, thank you.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. And then he hurries off on his business.
And this is quite a crowded area, right?
Oh yes, there's a lot of hustle bustle.
Yeah, so I find Shadow and I just pick him up under my shoulder and start trying to get out of this crowded area so I can gather my thoughts. And just like a real dog, it has that same sort of "how dare you, I am a powerful demon, put me down" sort of reaction. And I try and find an area where I can get some food.
Yes,
somewhere close to the to the port.
So honestly, just outside the port, it kind of opens up. So the whole city is built into a gigantic fossil.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think it's just like some old deity or something. But it's a gigantic fossil. So it's all these buildings that kind of hone out of this fossilized stone.
Okay.
But there's a lot of open spaces and a lot of green spaces. So you could easily find a park, but if you wanted to find a tavern or a cafe, they're scattered throughout the Citadel.
Well, I think I'll actually go for the nearest park and
easy.
Lie down and watch the skies while I collect my thoughts.
The sky is fun to watch. It keeps changing colors.
So it's kind of lit up partially by the general changing colors of the major crystal.
Yeah, I imagine the ethereal space is multicolored anyway. It's mostly hues of pinks and purples and gleams of blue, and then you've got the clouds going overhead, or what looks like clouds, and then kind of illuminating this whole space is the crystal, because it's so gigantic, it just dominates the skyline. And right now it's kind of a soft green color. So you're able to collect your thoughts quite easily. It's a little park that's tucked away between a couple of buildings. You do know you have a contact in the Citadel. So you know that your captain was on good terms with a bard who frequents one of the taverns here and makes a good living playing the piano. So she can be found in the tavern, as it's known.
Oh, okay.
It is the oldest pub on the Radiant Citadel and just been around for so long that it's just called the tavern. So that is one lead you could chase up, perhaps.
Cool. I mean, how crowded's the path from here to that tavern looking from this?
It's quite afternoon, so once you're out of the port, the streets kind of open up and there's not many people. Really just a couple of groups here and there strolling by. But this is a quieter part of of the city.
Yeah. In that case, I just beckon to Shadow and start wandering over to the tavern where I might be able to contact somebody.
Lovely.
Yeah.
How would I get maps up for you? Should I pull them up on that screen?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, cool.
And you can even screen share to the Zoom.
Well, okay.
And that way that's
figure this out.
too.
Let me just do some stuff.
Excitement.
Actually, no, I have them in my.
Oh, I thought you were going to use Owlbear, is what I meant.
Oh,
because Owlbear would be useful to share.
Yes, I will. I've never used Owlbear.
In that case, 1 second. Exciting stuff.
Start game.
Yes.
Import a map, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Just ignore the text at the top.
I
decided on a different name.
Oh, I see. Sounds good.
Yep. Do you have did you want to put your mini in or?
The
map.
For now, let's go with that.
Yeah.
Though I have messaged Tom and asked him if that wonderful drawing he drew can be made into a token.
How do I share screen?
So that's in the Zoom app.
Oh, share screen.
Yep. Oh no, click the button rather than
Okay, screen share.
Yep. Share.
Okay, so it's sharing that screen.
Yes.
And we're just little.
Marvelous.
Make this big. Okay, cool. Yeah. So this is the tavern.
Right. So I come through the door at the bottom center. Yep,
that's the main entrance. So this tavern is built into the crystal itself.
Okay.
And no one knows how, because any other construction, anyone who's tried to chip away at the crystal cannot. It doesn't matter how much magic you throw at this crystal, it just cannot break or splinter away. And yet this tavern has been built into the crystal itself.
Using the exact shape that was available for it, or they actually managed to build into it here?
No, they managed to build into it.
Oh.
So you've got, it's at ground level, but then you've got parts that are supported by struts that are built into the crystal itself. And the back wall kind of abuts the crystal. I want to do like an arcana or perception check for like lingering magic that like kind of blankets the tavern, if I may. Okay. I mean, that would be arcana for sure.
Cool. 17.
Okay.
Plus
Very
2,
nice.
19.
Okay. Hang on.
First
I need
roll
to get
of
up
the
my
campaign.
Yay. First roll of the solo campaign. Schools of Magic. I need a guide for this because I can never remember what different types do.
That is good.
No. Ooh. Okay. I hate it when it's not. I'm like, which one would it fit into?
Yep.
I'm going to say there is a, so what was the roll? So it's 17 plus
2, so
2,
19.
19. Yeah. So you kind of get a little bit of a slight tingle as you focus on any magical properties within this tavern. And I'll say with a 19, you recognize it as transmutation magic.
Interesting.
That seems to blanket the whole tavern, or at least the air is infused with that sort of that, but you're not sure if it's unclear whether it's from the lingering effects of a spell or if it's just the nature of the whole building or where this is coming from. You just know that there is a lingering scent of transmutation magic in this building.
Follow-up question, and I'm happy to roll again, and I'm happy to roll with disadvantage as I do not know the spell.
Yeah.
Nor am I a spellcasting class. I only have magic initiate.
Yeah.
So I know a little bit about magic, so it makes it feel reasonable to ask. But does my character know the what's it called? Know the school of magic of the dispel magic spell?
Oh.
And whether this might be some manifestation of that. Again, I'm happy to roll with disadvantage because it's pretty out there and kind of beyond his skill set.
Were there any spellcasters in your crew?
Yes. So all of the spells I know, sorry, the 3 spells I know from Magic Initiate have been picked up over the years, serving on various ships.
That's true, yeah.
But it is, again, to reiterate, not a spell I know or even could learn.
But Dispel Magic is a common spell.
Yeah.
I would say that you'd probably have picked up, or how long have you been pirating? Shipping?
So I'm in my, I feel like Jacques in his early 30s at this point, so probably 15 years, maybe 20.
Okay, yeah, that makes
10.
sense. Yeah, if you started as just like a
child,
yeah. Yeah, so I would say by this point you would at least know the school of magic as abjuration.
Okay, so this is not someone dispelling the magic of the crystal to some extent. Intriguing. Okay, I will pocket that information in case it becomes relevant to my self-preservation.
Yep. Okay. So as you enter this tavern, it's quiet because it's just a Thursday afternoon. They don't get a lot of patrons apart from their regulars.
Yeah. Does anyone look at me side-eyed for being followed in by a tiny dog?
Not really. Yeah, okay. No, that's fine. You get all sorts in the Citadel, so you'd have to be someone really out there or someone very important to really catch someone's eye and get a second glance. So yeah, there's a couple of people at the bar. You walk in, you notice this tavern is just incredibly eye-catching. The architecture is very fine, and it's almost got an elven quality to it, where it's got that delicacy to it. And you notice a familiar face at the piano, kind of happily jingling away at the keys.
All right. I'd love to make an insight check as I approach to tell whether I am recognized, and immediately thereafter whether I am recognized in a good or a bad way.
By anyone in particular?
By the familiar face at the piano.
Ah, yes. She hasn't noticed you yet.
Okay.
She's engrossed in this cheery tune and isn't paying attention to whoever walks in at the moment.
Yeah. Cool. Have I heard this tune before?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, it's a popular tune. Yeah, you've definitely heard it on a few ships. Actually, it's gotten around.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just as I get close, I comment. Well, at least you got the basics down packed.
She doesn't stop to her credit, she does not stop playing, but she does look up as she's in the middle of like quite a difficult part of the piece, and she just gives you a really charming grin, a familiar, like a welcoming grin. She does recognize you, and then just kind of tosses her head as though like, oh, you give me a sec, I'll just finish this off.
Yeah.
And then, did you want to do anything while you're waiting for her to finish, or is going to stand?
I reckon I'm going to stand there, wait, like as a courtesy, wait for the difficult bit, which I know as I heard the song, and then as it gets back to an easier part, just swap back, just lean in and be like, do you know where the fuck the captain and the rest of them have gone?
At that, her face does change a little bit.
Yeah.
Her grin kind of freezes for a second, almost like her like, you know, she was entertaining her regulars, she was having a good time doing her job, and then she hears this and the smile falters for a second, but then she quickly fixes it in place again, very quickly.
May I insight that?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Nat 1.
Ah, okay.
Second roll of the campaign.
Yay. She thinks you're a cool dude. Yeah, you're not sure what could have prompted that. You're not connecting those dots.
Yeah.
But she gets up and she says, Jacques, it's good to see you. Let me just grab you a drink. We'll sit down and we'll talk.
That sounds like a good start. Yeah. And I just as I turn around in sort of a single motion stumble towards the nearest table, scoop Shadow off the ground, deposit him on a bar stool next to one of the tables, and just fall into another bar stool at the same table.
What is the purpose of this? Is this just to be extra flamboyant?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
It's a like he's used to his sea legs, but he's also very dexterous. It's just it's just minimum effort. Yep. He is stressed at this point.
Yeah. So your friend Aria, she goes up to the bar and she kind of signals over the barkeep, and he comes over, this tall half orc man, and she says, 2 of the usual if you'd like, Bob. And he goes, oh, right up, Aria, right up. And then she ambles over to your table, and she lets Shadow sniff her hand. And you know, has he met her before? Nobody reacts.
I'm going to say luck check. On a 10 or lower, he hasn't. Well, he's met her before. Okay, yeah.
So he reacts, you know, quite happily to the sniff, and then she kind of ruffles him behind the ears and then falls into a seat opposite you. And she goes, so, what's this I hear about your ship leaving?
I saw the opalescent leave with my own 2 eyes, and then when I checked with a nearby station master, I had it confirmed that it was apparently leaving on schedule, which means one of 3 things. A, I got misled. B, a station master got misled with the express purpose of getting the ship out. Or C, there's a changeling on board who's got my face. I don't like any of these.
I like that last option. That's creative. Although you never know what you'll find on the Citadel. It's hard to know where you stand in this place. Look, you're a friend of the captain. I'm a friend of the captain. I may know something. I may have some information.
And I would like that information.
I'm sure you would. The thing is, I can't exactly give this information out for free. It's look, it's it's not information. I'm just going to go blabbing out.
I lean forward and I'm like, listen, I don't know how we're usually supposed to handle these sorts of things, as usually it isn't just the two of us. But elaborate on what it is you're looking for, and we might be able to help with that.
It's fortuitous, actually, that you come in to the tavern today. I have some worries about family. I got a letter just this morning from my aunt, who lives in one of the realms that the Citadel is connected to. And
you want her killed, got it.
Don't even joke about that. I mean, but honestly, my anxiety is through the roof. The letter did not sound happy. It did not sound like her. She's talking about disappearances, attacks in town. And it'd just be great if you could go out there, just find out that she's okay, that my family's okay. And then maybe I can help you figure out what's going on with your ship.
Tell you what, this is going to be worth more than some information and a place to stay. But I'll do it. You can owe me one. And he, stands up and just, was a drink brought out for him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So at this point, he just polishes it off and he's like, point me in the right direction.
I appreciate you, Jacques. Thank you. Thank you. But I just be careful.
Oh, good point. I scoop Shadow back up. And he has the same reaction of like, why are you doing this to me?
So my aunt lives in God's Breath. That's one of the lands that you can get to from the jewels. So if you head for the port and you take a jewel to God's Breath, my aunt Beatrice is in the town of Promise. Just ask for her and just let me know that she's doing okay and that I've got nothing to worry about.
It's been a while since I've been here. Do the jewels cost money, or is that like a...
Oh no, you can just find out when the next one's leaving and then jump on board.
What was
it's
the
not all
aunt's
bad
name
here.
again, sorry?
Aunt Beatrice.
Beatrice.
Yeah.
Got it. So I head back to the port, because that's also where the jewels go.
Mm-hmm.
And I find one to God's Breath.
Mm.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so these jewels are not like any vessels you've ever seen before. They seem to just be solid material. And you're wondering how on earth anyone could get inside. And then one kind of descends onto the ground and one whole facet of the jewel just becomes transparent.
Oh.
And people just walk out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's a trip.
Very unusual. And then you can take the jewel down to God's Breath. It's a comfortable,
Are there like seats and stuff inside?
Yeah,
cool.
So they're kind of being fashioned out of the jewel itself, so they're very hard, they're not comfortable.
Yeah. I pop myself down on the seat, immediately notice how uncomfortable it is, and then in a sort of like joking camaraderie, plop Shadow down on it next to me, who also expresses the same discomfort at this unacceptable diamond seat.
He's not going to like it either. So you're not traveling with many people. There's only a few passengers, but you do notice a lot of bags and crates as well on the jewel, because they're surprisingly spacious inside. So they're used to transport large amounts of supplies to and from the Citadel.
Gotcha.
Yeah, most of it seems to be what would be going to God's Breath? Mostly like farming supplies. And yeah, that'd mostly be it. Yeah. It's a very smooth ride. Unlike the ships that you're used to that are kind of victim to, the swells of space and, astral currents, where you have to get your sea legs or, pitch and toss.
Yeah. It's like this one has perfect inertial damping.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just completely unaffected by the whims of space outside.
Yeah. Now, as someone with a certain aptitude, and one might even use the word tool or other proficiency in space vehicles, do I get a sense that this is being either flown expertly, automatically, or simply there is no vibe to be felt?
No, so that you don't even need expertise in, because you can see a helmsman up at the front, of the Jewel. He kind of seems to have his own compartment to himself.
Yeah.
And he is clearly controlling the vehicle. And he's just probably, you can tell he's been doing this a very long time, and so it's barely even a second thought to him.
Okay.
And he's learnt how to adapt to the feel of this vessel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Is there anyone to talk to on the ride?
Yeah, there's a couple of people, mostly humans.
Yeah.
There's one, I'm going to say Dragonborn. They mostly look like farming folk, just commoners, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to look. This is maybe an earlier question. I want to see if I can tell who looks like they are going home to God's Breath and who looks like they are coming from the Radiant Citadel, if that makes sense. Do I look like there's anyone I can talk to who might already be a local down there?
Oh, it's hard to tell when you haven't been to God's Breath before. You don't know what the locals look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could, there's only I'm thinking of 4 or 5 people besides yourself. So if you wanted to ask.
Cool. So I'm going to approach the Dragonborn you described first. First person to catch my eye, why wait?
This makes sense.
How tall is this Dragonborn?
Oh, he's very tall. He's 7 feet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. So it'll require a small jump, and I'm happy to roll acrobatics for it. But I basically quickly knock his horn with my horn, and I'm like, aye.
He looks he's kind of he's very tall and he's quite large, and so he's kind of curled up on this seat, trying to make himself as small as possible, and trying not to, and he's got his tail curled around him, just really trying to take up as little space as possible. So when you kind of jump up and then knock horns with him, he looks very uncomfortable for a moment. He kind of leans away from you, and he's not sure how to respond.
And I just lean in, and I'm like, how much do you know about God's Breath?
Oh, God's Breath. A little.
Yeah.
I hail from there.
Ah, perfect. Local. Just what I was looking for. And I throw myself into a nearby seat. And it is extremely uncomfortable to do so.
What's your passive insight, isn't it?
Yes.
What is it?
14.
Yeah. So you would see just this briefest look of consternation cross his face as he realizes that you're settling in to talk to him.
And I'm just like, what's the place like? I haven't been there, or at least I don't think I have. I might have been very drunk. But I was wondering if you could tell me about the place. I've heard there's some interesting stuff going on, and I'm heading down to check some of it out.
Well, I don't know what there is to say. It's mostly farmers. There's the town, Promise, which is nice, I guess. I don't spend a lot of time there.
So is God's Breath the place where the town is? Promise is like a capital, or is it the only settlement, or is it just the closest settlement to the river?
It's the town.
Yeah. All right.
You know, yeah. I don't. He thinks for a moment. I haven't heard of any other settlements. It's mostly just the farms and Promise.
The people down there, they going all right? And I like absolutely lock on to him, looking like making the insight check like as soon as I finish the sentence.
Yeah, he's very bad at holding eye contact.
Yeah.
But as you lock on, he's just like can't look away.
Yeah. And I'm just like looking for this indication that, that he knows anything about what's going on. He's not going to say it.
Yeah, he tenses up if possible even more.
Yeah.
Well, you see, and he kind of hesitates, like he's on the cusp of speaking, and then he kind of decides, yep, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
I'm worried. I got a message from my mum, and she's saying that people are being attacked and people are being kidnapped, and I need to get home. I'm really worried. You know, what if my mum is taken? It's just her and my brother on the farm. What if they're taken?
So I lean forward, and I'm gonna go the persuasive route, and I'm just like, it's in my best interest to stop whatever the fuck's going on down there. So it's in your best interest to tell me whatever the fuck's going on down there.
I don't know. I haven't been there in a while. I came here to visit. It was my first time out of God's breath.
Oh, did you have a good time?
I did, yeah. Kind of the briefest, like, you know, like reminiscent smile crosses his face. It's amazing. It's so pretty, and there's so many colors, and the crystal, and
don't get me started about the crystal. And I just like flicker into existence this like shimmering like replication of the crystal
with nice.
And try and like flicker through a couple of the colors before it just like fades out, because like this is an innate skill, not a practiced skill. And it's just like
his eyes light up. That yeah, exactly. It's really so unlike home. It's so different. I just like, it kind of sucks I have to go back so soon, you know, but I really am worried, and I think I wish I knew more, but that's all my mum was saying, is there's been attacks even in town, which isn't normal. I mean, some farmers, you know, they
what kind of attacks?
like monsters that come down from the mountains, you know, like, I mean,
are these those crystal fuckers from the crystal, or is this like something else?
Crystal.
There's a zoo inside the crystal. Are they?
Oh right, yeah, they were great. But no. I'm talking like, you know, your usual, you know, monsters in the mountain. Don't you have them where you're from, like bullets and giant coyotes and
I've
things?
seen a bullet. I'm glad I don't have to deal with those fuckers on another basis.
They were awful. Yeah, we had one attack when I was just little, and it was terrifying. And now Mum's saying that they're attacking even in town, which I just can't imagine. Why would they come into town? They tend to stick to the outskirts, you know, the rattle and stuff, you know, not coming into the ribbon or into Promise. It's just unheard of.
So the rattle and the ribbon are those regions around the town of Promise?
Oh yeah. So you got Promise in like next to the ocean, and then your accent's coming off of me.
Yeah.
You've got Promise next to the ocean, and then you've got the ribbon, which is the nice farmland around Promise, and then further out you've got the rattle, which is like it's also nice farm. It's good. You get good crops from it, I've heard. But there are more monsters because it comes right up on the mountains, and so you'll get monsters out there because it's so far out and it's so desolate. But people still go out there because I mean, you know, crops aren't doing so well in the ribbon recently. There just seems to be so much trouble.
That sounds like two problems. I wonder if that's two problems that are one problem.
I don't
I've experienced that before. All right. I'll try to leave it with me, but I think I need your help finding this Beatrice, the fella. Wait, it was Beatrice. Is that a man or a woman name? I haven't encountered a Beatrice before. This is.
I mean, your friend did say aunt.
Oh,
Beatrice.
yeah. Aunts. That's definitely a man. Oh, I'm joking.
Yeah. You want my help?
Finding the right people, yeah.
Oh,
I'm not going to let anything happen to you. And I just like, I don't brandish, but I like draw his attention to the hilt of the rapier attached to my side.
Oh, so you're like one of those adventurers I've heard about.
Yes, sailor, adventurer, wild spacer, whatever you want.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I heard stories from my mum. That's cool. Who are you?
She's not wrong.
Yeah, bet you've got so many stories. Who are you looking for?
Well, I've got to find Beatrice. She's someone I've been charged with protecting. But if I can solve the problem for the whole town,
maybe my mum knows. I mean, she tends to know everyone because she goes into town a lot. I don't. I can keep to myself really, but you know. Maybe she can help. We're not far from Promise. We're just outside. So,
all right. We'll pop through Promise. We'll find something to do.
Okay. Okay. What's your name?
Oh, I haven't mentioned that. Yeah. Sorry. I'm Jacques.
Ah, hello, Jacques.
What's your name?
I'm Terry.
Hi, Terry. A lot of interesting names down here. Haven't encountered Terry before either.
Oh yeah, I bet you've been all over the place.
Can I also just do a quick scan of the carriage, like insight-wise, as to how other people are responding to me talking to this? To this guy.
Yeah. I mean, you can just look around, see how they're going. Yeah, if you're just having like a cursory glance around to see how they're reacting, most people are kind of keeping to themselves. I'd say one fellow who's on his own is kind of listening in, but not in a suspicious sort of way, just kind of in a curious way.
Yeah.
And I think the other family that's there, they're kind of keeping to themselves, but they can't help but overhear. And you can see they do look a little bit uncomfortable. You're not sure exactly why. You could maybe roll insight if you wanted to.
Yeah, okay. There's a gentleman's 7.
Yeah, I would say that you have an idea that it's because of the topic you're talking about.
Yeah,
but
okay,
yeah,
cool.
That's about it.
But certainly no strong indication at that point.
Yeah. Okay. So if that's all you wanted to do, there's not much more. You come to the jewel eventually starts flying, not through space, but it comes up on the realm of God's breath. And it starts to fly over mostly gently undulating hills. It's a very kind of burnished bronze brown sort of, lots of red sort of land. And you can see mountains off in the distance that you're rushing towards at a great speed. And before you know it, you can see farmland unfolding beneath you that abuts right up against the mountains, or the foothills rather. And then you see the ocean that Promise is kind of built, not right up against. It's not a seaside town, but it's only a couple of miles from the ocean. But it's a small town. Okay. This is, maybe a couple thousand people. It's very small.
As we're flying in, I do want to do one last perception check of what I can see beyond. I based on what Terry's told me, I can see this sort of town followed by good farmland ring, followed by slightly tattier farmland ring, and I just want to kind of get an idea of what's beyond that in case it might be the source of something. Anything worth checking out while I'm flying in, if that's possible?
At this distance, you're quite far up. It's hard to make out details, especially through the glass of the jewel, which kind of
is a bit translucent rather than actually transparent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But from what you can see, you have these farming communities around Promise that then turn into kind of I like your word tattier. Although the soil does still look like rich. Yeah. And then it's just the mountains, really. So it's really hard to make out details unless you're looking for anything specific. Like what exactly are you looking for?
Major caves or large roving bands of
I see.
Or... It just sounds, if I have heard you correctly, like eventually there are mountains, but even then that doesn't explain the presence of fuck tons of monsters.
Look, yeah, from this height, it's hard to really tell. You can't see anything that catches your eye that's like, oh, that's a monster lair right there. The one thing that does catch your eye is that over in the maybe I'm going to say like 20 miles outside Promise, something like that, there's a lake that's kind of nestled between a couple of foothills in a particularly green part of the land, and you notice a road leading from the lake down toward Promise. Those are your major landmarks.
Well, the rest of it. I guess like as we are departing the crystal, the jewel, when it actually arrives, I just lean into Terry and I'm like, by the way, how long is this a minor danger that's become a major danger recently, or is this like a whole new problem that started recently?
I don't know, but I think it might be new because, I mean, I was on the Citadel for a couple of days and I was getting messages from my mum and she seemed happy. And then just yesterday, she sends me a message and she's saying, oh, there are attacks happening.
All right. So this hasn't been going that long. All right. Okay. Let's find a tavern. And yeah, I find Shadow, nod to him to follow us, and head for. I look for the nearest tavern because I want to get like a sort of finger on the pulse of what is going on from someone who's here right now. So do I find a tavern, or do I find the absence of a tavern?
No, there's always a tavern. So you land about a mile outside Promise. And so you walk down this kind of dusty road toward the main town. And you can see farming communities on your left and right, along with just these rolling pastures of crops, growing various different crops. And these small buildings, just cozy little farmhouses. And then you see Promise in the distance. And yeah, it's just kind of like, a very quiet country town, really. It's got that sort of quiet vibe to it, although not at the moment, because it seems that you've arrived at during a festival. It seems there are lots of people on the street, and there seems to be banners flying from across, like strung up across streets, and there seem to be, I mean, you've never been here before, but there seem to be an awful lot of roadside sellers and like food stalls and such. So it seems that there's some sort of festival going on at the moment.
Okay. What stalls can I find? Like, is this a this is the full market complement, or is this just food complement? I guess.
Do you mean like, is it just food or is it more?
Is it the whole market? Like, can I buy weapons here as well?
Oh, right. So it's mostly food
Okay.
for this. If you go further into town, you find a market square. But I think for things like weapons and armor, that's not something that's commonly bought. You'll get like farming equipment, and weapons actually would be quite common, more so now than ever. But they're in specific shops on the street. It's mostly food sellers or people selling flowers and things, just like little souvenirs and things. People selling little dolls that they can quickly do up to look like you, that sort of thing. Yeah.
I guess how close is the nearest weapon shop?
Close by.
Yeah,
everything's within walking distance here. It's a very small town.
So I'll keep an eye out for anyone who doesn't look thrilled. But it sounds like people are having a good time at this festival. So I'll just, continue through the crowd. But I have a short sword and a rapier, and I don't intend to part with either of those. I could do with some daggers for throwing, and then I think Terry should have a dagger as well.
Oh, you're gonna buy him a dagger?
I will. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Is there anyone actually, as I'm passing through the crowd, is there anyone who is being an absolute asshole to anyone?
Not really. No,
that's fine.
No. Terry just does turn to you as you walk into town, and he says, "Oh, I forgot the festival was on.
I mean,
the Awakening Festival,
it, right?
Yeah. Maybe it's not as bad as I thought. Maybe it's not as bad as we thought."
No, that's fantastic. That's good news.
Yeah. He definitely looks a bit more perked up than he was on the ride over, for sure.
Sweet.
So you wanted to go buy some weapons?
Yes. Just a couple of daggers / throwing knives, the cheap stuff. But how much are those, by the way, for a dagger at least? Throwing dagger, throwing knife.
Weapon. I don't want to be like, it's 5 gold and then find out that is.
I think I think they're like 2 silver or something.
Probably. Okay, so I think this has price on it. Yeah, here we go. All right. So a dagger is 2 gold pieces.
2 gold.
Yeah. If you wanted to get something that is just very, very plain, basically just a slight upgrade from a knife.
Yep.
I'd say maybe a gold piece.
Okay. But they'll still function as
a dagger.
Yes. Yeah, perfect.
Yes.
I will grab 5 of those.
Okay, 5 daggers. Very nice.
And I've got one of the leather belts that goes that I've got over my shirt under my jacket. I just pop 4 of them in there as I hand over the 5 gold, and then I just do a quick flip of the knife a couple of times, and then hold it out to Terry, handle first, and I'm just like, if something's going on, I don't want you unarmed.
He just, first of all, he looks very impressed when you put all the daggers inside your jacket. I mean, sure, I've got my own set of knives at home that I use, but okay.
If something happens now, I don't want you unarmed.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I'll show this to Mum. She'll be impressed. I'm friends with an adventurer.
And I just swung straight back out to the oh no, actually, while I'm there, the weapons seller is quite possibly going to have their finger on the pulse of combat shit. So I ask the salesperson as I'm putting the knives away.
Yeah.
Have you heard what's happening with the attacks lately? I'm hopefully here to solve it, but I haven't managed to get much information so far. I've got some bare basics, but Terry wasn't. It was unfortunately not here either.
Ah, yes, he just arrived, huh?
So far, yes, that's all I've done.
Yep. Don't be fooled by those ribbons and sellers out there. It's not a good time for promise, I tell you that. People being kidnapped from their beds. Oh my God, what's on my eye? Just suddenly couldn't open my eye. Anyway, people being ripped from their beds. Monsters attacking just outside Promise. They used to stay in the rattle, and that made sense. I mean, they're actually going to farm right next to the mountains. What do you expect? But now they're coming down. Yeah, something's changed. Last couple of weeks, I reckon. It's just different, feels different. I mean, people say I'm crazy. They say, oh, yeah, whatever. You're always seeing things that aren't there. But no, I reckon something's going on. Just, I think you're a smart one, carrying some weapons. It's good.
Yeah. And like as he comments on that, like I conspicuously unintentionally like knock my rapier and have the sheath clang against the counter, and at the same time as I twist around a bit, you can see the two short swords like cross mounted on my back. And I was, oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Well, you're not one to be tangled with. That's good. Yeah. Too bad you can, you want to have one of my wares? Maybe, I mean, you got daggers, but I've got more. Want another rapier? Might have one out the back.
You got a fancy one?
Oh, nah, look, we're a farming community. Nothing fancy here, unfortunately. I have to go to the Citadel for that.
So I'll certainly fine for now then.
Yeah, right on.
But if I find myself needing to arm that boy further, I'll let you, I'll be sure to come back.
Oh, he's all right. Aren't you, Terry?
How does Terry respond to that?
Terry kind of looks up. He was admiring like a shelf of swords, and he kind of just goes, huh? Oh yeah. Kind of, just very shy.
You don't happen to know where Beatrice can be found, do you?
Oh, Beatrice, yeah, I know Beatrice. Oh gosh, where is she these days? She's all over the place, Last I heard.
Is she always all over the place, or is this?
Oh, well, she's very well traveled. Most of us, we stay put as we should. This is our home. But Beatrice has always been a bit odd. She likes to travel, and she comes home and she entertains everyone with her tales. That sort of thing.
Given my knowledge of Arya, is this a family disposition?
It definitely sounds in line with the family to have that sort of wanderlust about them. I think she was visiting her friends over at Cumberland Farm, but I don't know. She might be around town. I'm not sure, honestly. Yeah, sorry, can't be more help, but she's around. I know she's in town. That's it. That's for sure. Yeah. Maybe just ask around at the pub. You can always find out things at the pub.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, and I slink back through the street. I just try and find some indication of where Cumberland Farm is while I'm making my way through the streets, looking for anything that the townspeople are reacting to is off, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. So as you make your way through the town, you kind of people are calling out from their shop stalls and trying to reel you in with these tempting smells of cooking food or tasty desserts that they're kind of holding out to you. Other people with those little dolls are going, oh, I can make it look like you. I can make one looks like a bagel for you. That sort of thing, 2 copper pieces. And you see a lot of people, kind of milling around, enjoying the stalls, enjoying the atmosphere. You also notice every now and then you'll hear snatches of song. And it's hard to pick out the words amongst the clamour of the festival itself, but it seems to be some sort of some sort of a religious song, but every time you hear snatches of it, it's a different verse. You never hear the same verse twice. And it seems to be just kind of singing about the different gods and what they've done for the land. That's kind of gist of what you pick up.
Okay.
And eventually actually I can bring up a map. Hang on.
Marvelous.
Let me just double check this map. So Route 1. Actually, that might not be very helpful at this point. Yeah, no, never mind. Yeah, so you come to the street opens up into the main market square, which is basically what the town is built around. The rest of the streets kind of radiate out from this market, and there's just, open air market. So you've got all sorts of stalls selling all sorts of arts and crafts and farming supplies, plants, seedlings, all sorts of things. You've got a pen for animals, maybe like horse bidding over in one corner, all sorts of things. And the crowds kind of open up, and you don't notice anyone reacting to anything in particular until you reach about the middle of the market.
Yeah.
And you suddenly hear screams, which just seems completely out of place.
Just immediately spin, turn on the spot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, where the sounds are coming from. Yeah. Terry also turns around, and you both just see, first your ears are accosted by these shrill, sharp screams of just surprise and horror.
Yeah.
And then you see this kind of wave of people just kind of stampeding away from one particular point in the market.
Yep.
And other people crying out like, by the gods, how? Right in the center of town, that sort of thing, as they run past.
Yep.
And you hear snarls.
Yeah.
And
cool.
and Terry's he's really retreating into himself. He's kind of darting glances at you.
Yep.
And he's kind of backing away.
Yep.
And what would you like to do?
Couple of things. Real quick.
Okay, real quick.
I take one of the little daggers.
Okay.
And I place its hilt in its like grip in Shadow's mouth.
Oh my God, you're not doing that. You're not doing anything you're doing, are you?
And then just as these people are like stampeding past me to get to get away, I'm going to pickpocket something.
Oh, okay.
I'm going towards this fight, and I'm getting paid for it.
I'm wondering if that should be at disadvantage because they're running away. So yes, they're distracted, but they're also running fast.
I feel like these two things cancel each other out.
They do cancel each other out. I'm going to agree with that. So go for it.
That is a 23 sleight of hand check.
Okay, yes. All right, you can pick something out of someone's pocket.
Cool. I'm going to go for some gold or a weapon.
Yeah. I'm going to say gold. Yeah. So you managed to pickpocket a little leather sack of coins.
Yep.
You can't tell what's in there unless you open it up, of course.
I'll check it out later.
Yeah. So you've got a sack of coins.
Pocket it. And I continue towards the snarling.
All right. Yep. So you kind of battle against the crowds as you head toward the snarling. And then suddenly the crowds just give way.
Yep.
And you see two, what looks like just giant coyotes.
Coyotes?
Coyotes?
Yes.
Coyotes. Kind of growling and snarling in the center of this kind of opened space. And they haven't gone after anyone yet. They're kind of just staring people down. But it looks like they're preparing to attack.
Yep. Yeah. Cool.
So I guess we'll roll initiative.
Fantastic. And Shadow hide.
Yeah. I'll just get rid of this share screen because we don't need that.
Unless there's a new battle map.
There is not. I did not make one for this.
Understood.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I thought I was so
top left there, stop share.
Right.
Yep. Marvelous.
Okay.
Perfect. So shadow, I think, has a +0 or a +1, so that's a 5 or a 6. Unless you'll let him run ahead of time.
Where is my notebook? It was in my not library bag, laptop bag. My laptop bag over on the couch. Oh, beautiful. And the pen is in the front pocket of said laptop bag.
As much as I want to make fun of you for not being prepared, I cannot make fun of anybody for not being prepared. Cool.
Okay.
So Jacques has a 21 initiative score.
Very nice.
So that's a +12.
Yeah.
And his personal +9 modifier. I don't even have the alert feat.
And is Shadow joining in? Will you roll for him?
If you'll accept me, him just acting on my initiative, I'm just going to send him off to hide.
Okay, that's fine.
But much as appears to be my personal creed, I want my friends armed, which is why I gave him a dagger.
Okay, so it's just you and the coyotes. What number is that? Okay, so surprising nobody, you go first.
Yes. Marvelous. So it's just like
what will you do?
One coyote here and one coyote here.
Yeah.
And then there are people here.
There are people running away. Yeah. The only person who stayed is Terry, but he does not look like he's going to fight. Yep. He looks like he's just retreating along with your beagle.
Terry, take care of yourself.
Yeah, I think I will.
Yeah, so I am going to run up between the people that they're moving towards, skirt around the side, pull out my rapier as I'm moving, knock it with a booming blade, and then continue on to the other side with a dash action. But basically, I am going to make an attack at it as I'm running past. I believe I get sneak attack on this, as it is not adjacent to an ally. There is some distance between them, right?
Hang on, I got your character sheet.
Oh yeah. So it's just if I was of the impression that these two are quite far apart.
If you have advantage on the attack roll, but then later on it says
it's a swashbuckler feature.
You can make a melee attack against a creature. No.
So if I make a melee attack, it doesn't get an attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
And then
where was the one that's
rakish audacity?
Oh, okay. No, in the initiative. Oh, yeah. You don't need advantage on your attack roll to use sneak attack against a creature if you are within 5 feet of it.
Which I would be running past.
Yeah. No other creatures are within 5 feet of you. Yeah, and you're yeah. So sneak attack.
Yeah, cool.
Do it.
So I don't get advantage as a result.
Yeah.
17 plus 7, so that's a 22 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
Cool. So I roll. I have a D8 from the rapier. I have 1d6 from sneak attack, 2d6 from sneak attack. So that is 10 all up, plus my dex of 5, so 15. And then tell me if that one moves, because it will take the... so like as I knock it, like this energy like reaches out from the rapier, and just like you see these flickers of shadow sheathe this coyote, and then I continue on past it.
Okay, cool. Was this the one on your left or on your right? I'm
going for the one on the right.
On the right, yeah.
But yeah, I kind of call out loudly and make a scene to get the attention of both of them if possible.
Yeah, very good.
And I'm actually going to use my bonus action to dash further away to draw it further away from these people.
Yeah, great. So how much damage was that?
15 directly and another D8 thunder damage if it moves.
Okay.
And 5 feet in any direction. So if it moves towards me or away from me, those both still count.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes. So I'm guessing I was about 15 feet away beforehand. So I reckon that would put me about 45 feet on the other side. And Shadow has hidden.
Okay. Are you saying that you're 45 feet away from the hyena?
Yeah.
Sorry, from
Or
the coyote. The coyote.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So trying to draw them away from the
yeah, they've definitely taken notice of you. You are now an immediate threat that they must deal with. So they turn as one.
Oh, and yeah, just as I do get there, I'm just like, rest of you run.
Yeah, a couple of people who are kind of like hesitating, not kind of deer in headlights, are kind of like, yeah, maybe I should and get out of there. So the market square is mostly deserted at this point. There's a couple of stragglers who are just leaving.
But no one has been attacked yet, right?
No.
Yeah.
It
so
doesn't
I've absolutely
seem...
drawn first blood in this situation. And if there was a way of negotiating this by talking to monsters, I have failed at that path. Not that is quite... Yeah. I mean, he's charismatic enough to attempt that, but he has not.
Yeah. Okay, so the coyote that you hit, it growls and it is going to move towards you.
Fantastic. It is going to take a D8.
Yep.
Thunder damage.
Roll that D8.
5.
Okay, very nice. And it just pounces straight towards you and tries to sink its teeth into the arm holding the sword.
Yep. Cool.
All right, so that is, 24. Does that hit?
No. That does likely hit. I don't like that. Cool.
All right, so it does, wow, double ones. Incredible. It does an amazing 5 piercing damage.
Ouch. Do you want me to keep track of that, or?
I can keep track of it if you'd like.
That would be good.
Yeah. So your age 26.
Yes.
So you're on 21. Great. Yep. So it's got its claws, its mouth sunk into the arm holding your sword, your rapier. You haven't dropped it, but yeah, that's
yeah. In fact, if you'll allow it, as it sinks its arm, am I grappled or anything? Or
no.
Yeah. Cool. So as it bites on this arm, I just let go and then catch the with my other arm.
I'll let you do a dex saving throw if you want to do that.
Yeah. Okay. I was just doing it for flavor, but dex save. That is a 14.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was a low DC for sure.
Yeah. Even higher if it was acrobatic. Oh no. That was
all right. And then now the hyena that was on your left is coming up on your other side. It's also going to try and bite you, and this time it's just going to try and sink its teeth into just your torso.
Yep.
And just try to take a bite out of you and then let go.
Okay. So you said I took 5 damage from the first one.
Yep.
Just going to use the dice to track it.
11.
Does not.
Does that? Yeah. So it snaps very close to your torso, but it sinks its teeth into empty air and then just kind of retreats a bit, but they're both growling.
Yeah, just like twist out of the way.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, cool.
Now it's your turn.
I'm gonna again, booming blade, the shadowy energy builds up across the blade. And just whack the one that has my arm to get it to release.
Yep, very nice.
And because there are 2 of them around me, I don't believe I get sneak attack.
I doubt it.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna roll straight.
Yeah.
Does 12 hit?
It does.
Wouldn't an 11 have hit?
No.
So that's an 11.
Yeah, that doesn't hit. Oh, is that damage?
That's
damage.
yeah.
11 damage.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And then I'm going to use the disengage action and just run 30 feet back towards the center of the town square now that it's cleared out properly. So I've got some room to maneuver.
Okay, very nice. Great. So the one that was on your arm, you shake it free successfully, and it kind of snorts, and then it tries to find you again, and it's going to come after you again.
And it's going to take the booming damage.
Oh, yeah, so it takes that every time?
Yeah, in this case, straight 5. Well, it's just every time it gets hit, it becomes sheathed in this energy.
Oh, I see. And then if it moves towards you, then it takes damage.
Yeah, if it moves at all, that counts.
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
but that sort of status ailment of being sheathed in this shadowy energy needs to be re-upped by my attack each time.
Yeah, gotcha. So the 2 coyotes, they barrel towards you, and they just kind of crash through market stalls as if they were made of matchsticks, because they are very big. They want muscle, so they just crash through these market stalls straight towards you. The one that had your arm is going to snap at your head.
So these things are quite quick, because I was 45 feet away from them at one point, and they still caught up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, they are fast. All right. Does a 15?
Oh, thank fuck. No.
Okay, never mind. So that one snaps at your head, but again misses.
Yeah, just like.
Yep. And then it lands back on its 4 paws, ready to pounce again. And the other one is just going to make a similar attack. It's going to go for your legs, trying to topple you and take you down. Come on. Oh my goodness. 22.
22 hits.
I'd hope so. Okie dokie. So it does manage to fasten its teeth around one of your legs. It's just, I've got a death grip on you. So that is 6 piercing damage.
So that puts me on 11 damage taken.
So that's what, 15?
Yeah. So better understanding the situation here, I'm going to open with the disengage action, and I'm going to move around on the one that I have been attacking, not getting attacked by the other one. Again, sheathe in the shadowy energy and go for a stab with the rapier, but this time hopefully for some sneak attack damage. So 14 plus 7 is 21.
No hit.
And
yeah,
so it'll be sheathed in the old energy. That's an 8, a 1, and a 3, so 12, and then my +5 dex, so 17 damage.
This will take it down.
Perfect.
If you want to do the final blow.
Yes. And I've already taken disengage, but this is going to free me up a bit. So yeah, I just like absolutely skewer it. The energy flows out onto this creature, but it's dead. So you just see this creature like just immediately drop, and the energy just goes off anyway. And I again move to the extent I can. Hope maybe I can get my back to a window or something, so I might be able to escape through that on the next turn.
Yep.
And it's the creature's turn.
Yeah, so you've just got the final coyote that is staring you down. It growls and it doesn't pounce immediately. It's kind of just staring at you, and then all at once it just rushes at you and just tries to take a bite out of whatever part of your body it can. Just in a desperate attempt. Oh wow, that's a 1. Does not hit. It crashes through another market stall and takes a bit of damage from that and kind of stumbles.
It doesn't
and
run
doesn't even
past me far enough to get an opportunity attack, does it?
No.
Okay. Yeah, cool. I duck in towards it. I go for another booming blade jab, so the energy spreads out, and I've got my sneak attack. So does a 15 hit?
Yes.
All right. This is definitely satisfying number of dice. So that is a 6, a 2, and a 2. So 10 plus 5, 15.
Okay.
And it is booming bladed.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to duck through the window behind me, and I'm going to use my bonus action to hide.
Oh, okay. Hiding. I've never had someone hide.
Oh, do you want me to roll to hide? It would be a stealth roll.
Okay. Yeah. Hide.
14.
Okay. So they've got a. So would that be a contested roll?
Yes, I guess so.
Yeah. Let me just hide. Okay, so you make a stealth check and if you succeed, yeah. Okay, so what is the skill for hiding? Okay, so until you are discovered, stop playing that check's total is consisted by the wisdom perception check of any creature. Yeah, cool. So what did you get?
14.
Yeah, no, never mind. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, you managed to duck into this what just appears to be a shop of some kind, and you duck underneath the window, and it's just trying to smell for you.
Yeah.
So okay, so you're successfully hidden. So we come out of hiding. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So it's just going to spend its turn trying to find you. Yeah. So I guess it would be another contested roll.
Either that or another perception check against my existing stealth roll.
Oh, yeah.
Because I haven't changed anything.
Cool. Yeah.
Not that it was a good roll and I want to keep it. It's just I think that's how it works.
That would make sense because you haven't done anything to improve or worsen your situation. So that's a 14.
That is the exact roll.
Oh, okay, so that'll win. Yeah, so it does, because you are still very close to it and it has got your scent at this point.
Yep.
It quickly catches the scent, the trail, and you just hear this growling as you're hiding, get closer and closer, and then you just feel the ground shaking as it then bursts through the window after you. And it's now inside the shop. It quickly spins around and stares at you and is very close to you. I'd say maybe like 10 feet, if that.
Yep.
And it's filling up the shop. Like, it is a massive animal. And I will say it'll go for an attack.
Cool. Did it jump over me and therefore has an
oh, yeah. Good call.
Marvelous.
Good catch.
Would I be considered unseen at the time?
No, because it caught sight of you. It knew where you were.
Cool. And nothing about Rakish Audacity says that needs to be on my turn. So I still get the sneak attack damage if...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just... Oh, yeah, 22.
Yeah. You don't even need it.
So... we have a D8 and 2D6, and just no booming. Oh, and it took the booming blade.
Oh, it did. Yes. So that was a D8.
4.
Do that first. 4. Yep. Okay.
And then this is just a regular rapier jab.
Yeah.
And that is 10, 15 all up.
Cool.
I keep getting 15 a lot, and I'm actually realizing that on a D8 and 2D6, that's a low roll.
It is your average roll so far. Very nice. So you've managed to, I'm imagining you stick it into its belly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've done a lot of damage to it. You've like sliced well into its belly, and it's dripping a lot of blood. I'd say even gushing blood. As it finishes jumping over you, it spins around. It just growls, and it does hesitate for a moment, but then it's going in for the kill.
Insight for on its hesitation?
Sure. I mean, yeah.
I guess, like, is this thing afraid of me? 21.
Yes, it is afraid of you. Okay. It's like it's kind of like in animal terms, like, do I retreat or do I keep attacking? And then it's just like, no, I'm out for blood. I will keep attacking. it's hoping just to take you out because it can sense that, you know, you're weakened as well. 15?
15 does not hit.
No, okay, no. So somehow I think, yeah, because it is very crippled from your blow, it goes to snap at you as you're crouching there behind the window, but then staggers from all the loss of blood, and then just kind of falls to two legs and then manages to right itself. And now it's your turn.
Yeah, cool. Like, no hesitation from me. This thing is still a huge threat to everyone in the town.
Yeah.
He sees no percentage in letting it live. And so he, is gonna, how dark is it in here?
Actually it'd be coming up on evening, and so it's dusk.
Is a closed shop.
It is a closed shop.
Yes, and then I guess my final question is, based on its combat so far, I'm happy to insight or animal handling check as to whether I think it can see well in the dark, or whether I have the advantage, the upper hand visually here.
You could try insight. No, animal handling.
Cool. Animal handling would be a 17.
Yeah. So it doesn't do too well in the dark.
Yeah, okay. I am going to go for the booming blade, and then I'm going to jump back out the window and hide outside. So,
okay.
I'm going to go for the jab. Ooh, no. 2 + 7.
Oh, God.
A 9 does not hit, I assume.
No, it does not.
So I just basically, from this missed jab attempt, backwards roll and then just jump straight out the window, and I'm going to hide. So that's stealth. 11.
Okay.
Stealth.
Yeah. Would it get an attack of opportunity because you're not disengaging? Are you?
I made an attack against it.
Yeah.
And it had no other allies around me. So I don't need to make it. I don't need to land the attack. I just need to make a melee attack against a creature
to get the sneak attack.
No, to get the benefits of free disengaging.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Good to know. Okay. Yep. 11. All right. Yeah. It's looking very poorly, so you hide somewhere close by, and you're expecting the coyote to come after you, but you hear it. It struggles to get out of the window.
Yep. Now I'm hiding directly below the window.
Below the window, yeah. So you kind of just see it kind of half stumble, half jump out of the window again. But this time it doesn't turn around. It just keeps going, and it seems to be heading.
Can I make an attack of opportunity?
Yeah.
Buddy.
Might be able to finish it off.
17 + 5, 7.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Let's see how this goes. It's, again, I don't benefit from booming blade, but a 1 on the D8, history's greatest monster. Oh, but 2 6s, so it comes back around. So that's 13 + 5.
Yeah.
Another 16.
This takes it down.
Yeah. Cool.
If you want to describe that.
Yeah. Just I hear it's coming towards the window to jump out, and as poorly as it is, I'm just like, I judge where it's going to be coming through, and immediately, like the second it becomes visible, just rapier straight into the center of its chest, and you just see like there's this incredibly uncomfortable give in the sword as it bends into its bowels, and I actually have to let go of the rapier as the thing collapses to the ground. And I just immediately pick it over, pull the rapier out, and just like start wiping it off on the belt.
Damn, very nice. As you're doing this, not only do Terry and Shadow come creeping out from their hiding places, but you also see a woman coming towards you that you don't recognize.
Yeah.
kind of picking her way over the splinters of the broken market stalls. But she is making a beeline for you.
I'm gonna. I guess it's probably. Deception. I wanted to call it persuasion, but it's probably deception.
What are you trying to do?
I gesture to the first dead coyote that I definitely killed.
Yeah.
And I look back at Terry and Shadow, and I'm like, "Fucking hell! Did you two have that one?"
Okay. Yeah, they so Terry comes over and he's looking really, he doesn't go anywhere near the corpses at all. But he just has a look of admiration on his face. And,
does he have the dagger in his hand?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yes. He's in the act of putting it away, seeing as they're both.
As soon as he's putting it away, I just like bury the rapier in the head of the coyote. It just like in a way like so that it's standing up, and I just take my hands and I shake Terry. Like, time to sort it out.
Terry, yeah, he's
and at this point there's blood on this hand.
Yes, I know. Yes, so. But you know, he's grown up on a farm. A bit of blood doesn't faze him. But
what color dragonborn is he, by the
way? Red.
Huh.
Yeah.
He was a red dragonborn in my mind.
Yeah, and then before you know it, Terry's kind of gushing a little bit and doesn't really know what to say. Shadow trots over, and then this lady approaches you.
Yeah.
Am I correct in assuming that you are the gentleman who took down these two giant coyotes?
In the flesh. You ordered some coyote meat?
I've heard that it's quite tough, actually. My name is Beatrice, and
I've been looking for you. Aria sent me. She was worried about you.
Yes, poor child.
What's Beatrice look like?
So Beatrice is a human.
Yep.
She has tightly coiled dark hair, darker skin, and she's kind of maybe looks in her 50s, so an older lady, but she looks like, she's seen a few things. She carries herself very confidently.
And can I get a reminder of what Aria looked like, and if there's whether there's a family resemblance?
There's definitely a family resemblance. The same shade of skin, the same tightly coiled hair, although Aria wears it differently. Mm-hmm. She tends to keep it like high up in updos, whereas Beatrice has it just like flowing over her shoulders. But yeah, you can definitely see a family resemblance there. Even the same sort of confidence, really, that comes from just being well traveled and having stories to share, having met a lot of people. Yeah. And so Beatrice says, yes, I'm not surprised that Aria sent you. I must confess that my latest letter to her, honestly, I may not have been wise in what I told her. I've probably led her to worry more than she should. But there is a problem here in Promise, and I'm very glad to see an adventurer here in our midst, because we're in need of one. We need someone to investigate what's going on, what dark plague has befallen this town. I'm wondering, I understand you're only here on Aria's behalf, but I can make it worth your while, of course, if you would investigate a recent spate of disappearances that have befallen our town and these monster attacks, and find out what's going on. For your efforts, I can reward you 250 gold pieces.
That sounds good. If you don't mind, though, I could do with a bit of a break. Is there a tavern that is actually still serving anything?
Yes, we have the local pub. Yes. The Two Broomsticks.
Perfect.
Yes. They serve well into the night. They also have rooms if you would like, and tell them Beatrice sent you, and you'll get a discount.
Let's get a pint.
It's the least.
And you can elaborate on what you've discovered so far.
Of course.
Because I'm going to need to spend some hit dice to get back up.
Yes. Yes. I can imagine a couple of, or even an hour in the tavern would count as a short rest.
That's what I was hoping.
Yeah.
So I'm going to spend. One. Are you okay with me spending them one at a time, or do I need to declare at the beginning how many I spend if I'm going over a short rest?
Oh no! Look, you can do them one at a time.
Cool.
Yeah.
That is 9 with my con. No, 8. 6 plus.
Whoopsie.
Wait. 6 plus 8. So I'm gonna call it at 1. Dice spent, because that has me at 3 damage.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm as much as I'm normally very good at math, I am very tired. So it is failing me.
That's okay.
And does she explain any other details?
Yes. So she takes you to this very warm looking pub. It's quite busy. A lot of people seem to have ended up here after the coyote attacks. And it's doing quite a roaring trade at the moment, but it's also just very warm. As the sun sinks below the horizon, it's starting to get dark. It's also starting to get cold. There's a cold wind blowing, and you're very glad to get inside this nice warm atmosphere. You find a table away from the bustle in a corner. Beatrice grabs 2 pints of ale or beer or whatever you'd like from the barkeep, and then sits down with you. So, as I understand it, a few of our farming communities have experienced kidnappings. In the night, someone is whisked away from their bed, never to be seen again. This has been happening over the last couple of weeks, and we have no idea who or what could be causing such a thing. There are not many clues left behind after these disappearances, but you are welcome to question the families that have been affected and investigate the houses yourself if you would like.
And we reckon this is those monsters. How did those coyotes get into the center of town without being noticed?
I believe, they were noticed. It's
quite
strange. Yes, it is strange that they didn't attack anyone. They seemed to be heading straight for the market square as if they were on a mission. And it was only when they approached the market square that they started to intimidate people, but they seemed reluctant to attack.
Can I recall any descriptors of the 2 people I saw them approaching? Because it's sort of, there were 2 people being approached by 2 coyotes. And I'm wondering if I recall enough about them to describe to Beatrice who they might have been.
Look, they just looked like ordinary common folk. It'd be hard to describe them and really pick them out to Beatrice. I think there was nothing really unique.
Well, I mean, the fact that I could only see them from the back as I went around. Although I did go like right close to one of them, so I just from the vague memory of this person, just create a minor illusion in my hand. Like a sort of shadowy hologram of this one person as I remember them, but really not that effectively. Actually, I'm going to call that a performance check. Okay, cool. So on a 21, I feel like I did a pretty good job. Whether that's valuable information to her is obviously up to you.
So she honestly just says, look, I don't recognize the person, but they may be farming folk. I'm not sure. I consider us a tight-knit community, but there are always, especially farmers out in the rattle, that don't come into town very often. But it is the Awakening Festival at the moment, and so perhaps they came in for that, but otherwise they keep to themselves. There are communities that really do keep themselves self-sufficient.
Yeah. From what you're saying, there doesn't seem to be targeting of individuals. It's all about it's all about starting the hunt in the right place. Very deliberate about that. I wonder if there is any intelligence behind it. It's got to be.
There have been attacks in the Ribbon, which has not been heard of before.
How long has this been going on in the Ribbon?
Again, a couple of weeks. We do get monster attacks in the Rattle. As you know, that comes up on the mountains, and so we get boulets coming down.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
I'll pass on
nasty business.
But in
and
town, that's got to be new.
yeah, that is very new. Yes, we had a couple of coyotes attack a couple of days ago. They attacked a farming community and were only fought back at great loss. But for them to come right into town, to be that brazen, is unheard of. Yes, I would really like to know who is behind this, because, I mean, it seems that God's breath is under some sort of curse. I know people whisper about it, and I'm hesitant to buy into such rumors myself, but it does seem that some curse is falling on the land. I don't know if you've heard yet, depending on how long you've been in town, but the crops in the Ribbon are failing, and we don't know why.
How long has that been going?
That has been going on for a while. I'd say, gosh, maybe 6-8 months, maybe even a year. It's hard to tell, but we definitely started to notice it a while ago. And I'm not sure if this is connected to that, but it might help you in your investigation.
So, crops failing, that's a while.
Yeah. Yes.
Rackle monster attacks, that's normal. Ribbon monster attacks, that's a couple of weeks.
Yes, and very unusual.
And in town, that's tonight, first time?
Yes, correct.
All right, so it's either getting worse or we got 3 problems.
I don't think they're, I would say
that,
yes, I'd say they are connected. It seems all this is heading towards some sort of great cataclysm or something. But that's my imagination getting away from me.
I just walk out of the tavern. I don't say anything, but I leave Shadow there with her, and I look up at the sky. Can I see the Radiant Citadel from here?
No.
Or is it?
No.
Yeah.
It's off in deep ethereal space, so it's very far away.
Yeah. Cool. So I'm just kind of looking at a night sky at this point.
Yeah.
And with the monster attack tonight, it would be even less light pollution than usual. So I'm just taking in the ethereal sky.
Oh yeah, it's very pretty. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine. Very little light pollution even.
Yeah. He just he's checking his left hand, his left forearm is healing up all right. All right. Tomorrow morning, first thing. And he goes back in and he organizes a room to rest for the night.
Okay. I would say just a couple of silver pieces.
Fuck!
What?
I realized I forgot to use Hellish Rebuke.
You didn't need to. You were fine.
Yeah,
You were
would've
doing
been cool.
okay. Yeah, there were more combat.
Yeah. It's just I had nothing to do with my reaction so much this time as well.
Yeah, no. So a couple of silver pieces for a room for the night.
Yep. Cool.
How
much was in the baggie I stole, by the way?
Let's roll. Let's do
that was also all of my takings.
Let's
for
do
the
a
day,
D12.
given
I'm gonna
circumstances.
say,
and I had a few outgoings.
whoopsie. 17 silver pieces.
Cool. So that'll cover my meals. It will not cover the. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The innkeeper asks if you want any, like, if your pet needs, like, do you want some? We have dog biscuits.
He doesn't eat, does he? This fiendish beagle.
Probably not.
No. I'll take one anyway.
Yeah.
He can choose.
Yeah, he gives you like a bag of dog biscuits.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got a nice fire going on up there, so feel free to curl up in front of the fire. Yeah, good beagle you've got there.
I
appreciate a good beagle.
Oh, good is in high quality. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Tell him you said that, and I think he'll appreciate it.
Oh, thanks. Do you need a breakfast in the morning?
Absolutely.
Oh, perfect. We'll have that arranged for you.
Yeah.
Lovely. All right. Have a good night.
You too. And just flops down on the bed, face first. Does not worry about the blankets. Passes out.
Excellent. It is right bang on 10 o'clock. Did you want to wrap up here?
I think that seems like a really good.
Yeah, I feel like that's just too neat to ignore.
And so I will be fully healed. And
Yes,
we'll have all
long
my
rest for sure.
back in the morning, unless it gets interrupted. And please tell me now.
No. Too early in the campaign for that to happen.
Cool.
No, it's a quiet night. It's very nice actually. It's a very peaceful place. Just the firelight flickering on the walls, shadow curled up in front of the fireplace. Yeah.
Perfect. It's a nice chill night. Thank you.
Excellent.
For that game.
All right. First session. Yay.
And all right.
Hopefully it picked all that up.
Yeah.